Hi, welcome to KPL Performance. Today we're going to be talking about cylinder heads and all the parts and pieces that go into putting them together. The cylinder heads and camshaft are the two main components in your engine that limit the amount of horsepower and torque it can make. So let's take a closer look at the cylinder heads, how they're constructed, and the parts inside of them. My cylinder heads are made from 6061 billet aluminum, just like all the main components in my engines. They have heart-shaped combustion chambers, angled spark plugs, and two different size valves. If we take a look at the intake ports, you can see that they're straight, right towards the valve. Because they're made from billet aluminum, I have to have a straight path to machine them. If they were a cast head, they would most likely have a curved intake runner towards the valve. Same thing on your exhaust side. But being straight, it actually optimizes the airflow to direct the flow of the air straight in towards the valve. And if you look at the size of my intake runners compared to any other engines on the market, they're optimized to flow the maximum amount of air in this small space. And if we look at the other side of the head, you can see the exhaust runners. They're also large and straight toward the exhaust valve. So this optimizes your exhaust flow out of the heads. Looking at the top of the head, you can see that the pedestals for the rocker shafts are machined as part of the head. Also has oil return pathways for the oil to return to the lifter valley. Okay, let's take a look at an unassembled head for some of the detail you can't see with one that's put together. Just like a full-scale cylinder head, all the valves have a pressed-in bronze valve guide and a hardened steel valve seat. This head has already been assembled and disassembled. They're numbered because I have all the valves numbered that go in each corresponding hole. They're all hand-lapped to make sure that every one of them seals perfectly before it's assembled and shipped. For the valve assemblies, I machine all my valves from 17/4 stainless steel. The intake valves have a 9/16 head, and the exhaust valves is a little larger than 3/8. It's around 406. The valve assembly is just like a full-scale engine with a seal, a hardened spring seat, your spring, my own custom-made taper keepers. Let's take a look at those. The taper keepers are just like a full-scale engine, where you have your spring retainer cap and the little tapers that lock into the valve stem. And you can see that they have the taper and they lock into the groove, and both of them are on there. You slide the spring cap up, it pinches onto the valve stem, and it'll never come off. The remaining components are your rocker shafts, roller rockers, and push rods. The rocker shafts are drilled for oil lubrication. The oil comes up through the cylinder heads, through their shaft pedestals, through the shafts, and then lubricates the pivot point of each rocker. The rocker arms are just like full scale. They have push rod adjusters with lock nuts, a roller tip, and the pressurized oil will come through the center of the shaft, exit through these little holes, run this groove, and lubricate your roller tip and your push rod adjuster as well. That's the same on both your exhaust and your intake rockers. For the push rods, they are just solid steel. Because the oil comes up through the rocker shaft pedestals, I don't have to have hollow push rods to bring the oil up to the valve train. So it gives you a stronger, more reliable push rod at this small scale. The last component to go along with the cylinder heads is your head gaskets. Just like a full-scale race engine, I machine all my head gaskets from real copper that's been softened and annealed, so you get the ultimate in sealing and durability and longevity. This kind of quality and detail can only be found one place in the world. That's made right here in the USA at KPL Performance. So be sure to visit kplperformance.com and check it out today. Thanks.